Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn vào video khác của Johnny nha. So, right now you can see that I am doing a monthly event right now. And this is section 2 of what I'm doing now, which is the monthly event. This is number 2, session 2. And I would like to thank first Mr. Ted, one of my best friends. He's the one who gave me the idea to do this. And he also coordinates and help me to promote the event. And hopefully we will keep on doing this one for the near future as well as now. Okay, so the topic of today's is vaccination. So now you can see it's August 2021 and we have been through the pandemic for how long? 1 year, 8 months, isn't it? So the topic of today will be vaccination. And recently there has been a controversy about whether to take the Chinese vaccine or not taking it. So we have a few people joining in the event now. Not so many, but I prefer it cozy. So Miss Lin, Miss Như Huấn, and Mr. Quốc. So, okay, let's start first. Hello, Miss Lin.
Yeah, hi, teacher.
Hi. So,
Can you hear me?
So, how long have you been following my YouTube channel?
I guess about almost 2 months.
A month or 2 months, I see.
2 months.
2 months. And I guess that you like the content enough that you join in this kind of little show.
Yeah, it was the show last month and I wait for today too.
Oh, I see. Okay, so don't worry, just speak, okay? This event is for people to freely talk, speak in English so you can improve yourself, right? Okay. So please, raise your voice, don't be shy, just speak, okay?
Sorry, can you hear?
Yeah? What do you say? Miss Lin, what do you say? Miss Lin, what do you say?
Oh, excuse me. Can you hear clearly now?
Yeah, very clearly.
Okay, thank you.
Now, so Miss Như is my student, and she has been learning with me for how many months? I think half a year, right, Miss Như?
Yeah, I think so. I think if finished this month, I think we already study about half a year.
Oh, half a year already. So
yes.
I think she has learned quite a lot through my classes. And now she seems to be interested in these kind of event as well. Welcome, Miss Như. Please speak freely, okay? Ask question. Please ask a lot of questions. We need to discuss and make this event a good one. So, Mr. Quốc, I only know that you follow me through Facebook.
I follow you about 6 months.
Oh, 6 months on Facebook.
Yeah. I follow you training IELTS.
Yes.
Training IELTS and practice IELTS.
Yeah. Do you follow me because of something else, like the piano or something?
Yes, I know.
Sure.
Following piano. Yeah.
Well, okay, so basically, Mr. Quốc, can you say a bit more about your experience? Do you like what I'm doing? Something like that? Like, what do you think about what I'm doing? Like IELTS and everything else?
I take IELTS as products is product BSD. I take
you are learning
PhD.
IELTS for your PhD, right?
Yeah. And when today I realized today because I master genetics. I master genetics and I saw in many testing the products missing.
Can you say again? I don't understand that much. Can you say again?
What is your field of study?
Because it is a very best, not a good, so and not
Well, fluency takes time. So, can you explain your journey with English? What have you learned? Can you share with us?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll ask Miss Lin. So, can you share with us your journey with English?
Yes, I think that I learn most time I learn English by myself, and because I have some not good experience with literature in the past, and now I hope I will with English to be the second language I can use fluently and frequently.
So you wish that you can use it fluently and frequently. I see. So let's go into the topic now, but we need to talk to Miss New first. So Miss New,
yes.
Can you share with everyone your journey of English learning?
I'm studying first my teacher from Philippines.
From the Philippines.
And I study and I study with her about 3 months. And then I go study as a US for 6 months. And then I say when I study there, my English cannot improve. And then next, I study with Mr. Chuan for the IELTS. So I will get the 6.5 IELTS.
Congratulations.
Well, sometimes it's good to try to find someone that you can study with and you feel like you're learning for that person. Because I know that a lot of the time you have to find the right teacher for you.
That's true, because before I take 8 months for find a teacher teaching English. So I try a lot, but and cannot find a teacher good for me.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so people, let's just talk a bit about vaccination now. We need to go into the topic now. So recently there has been like 10 different type of vaccine available. So let me ask you, Mr. Kwok, what do you know about vaccine? Can you share with us?
Vaccine is I think it's the virus or a best of virus. Virus is
it's not a living thing.
Em không giải thích được nói tiếng Anh.
Okay. Anyway, so we know that virus is not a living thing, isn't it? So is it? So we know that this is harmful, and it's not easy to kill them. So let's go into the first slide. So I would like to talk a bit about the history of vaccines or vaccination. So the story started during, like, I think a long time ago. We humans have been affected with many diseases, some of them very deadly. And back then, in the past, like I think 200 years ago or 300 years ago, there were no cure or there were no effective prevention at all. So during the 18th century, like, 1750, maybe 1740, many diseases were very deadly. Like, do you know about the disease called smallpox? Đậu mùa, do you know that smallpox?
Yeah.
Okay, these days, every baby, when they were born, they receive a set of vaccines on their arm. That including smallpox and 6 others. No, it's like a vaccine cocktail, 6 different vaccines. But what I'm talking about here is during the past 18th century, many people died because of these diseases. And let's look at the picture now. Basically, the medical community. Back then, doctors and nurses, they did not know much about many things. Surprising, right? And they didn't even wash their hands. Sorry, I will just turn on a crispy so no noise. Doctors and nurses there, they didn't wash their hands often either. And basically, there were no antibiotics. Sorry, Mr. Cook, there was a lot of noise, so I'll mute your microphone. Okay. So, because of that, there were no antibiotics. Doctors and nurses didn't wash their hands often. Only until the beginning of the 20th century. So that's why when people get sick, that's why when people are about to give birth to babies, if they survive, if the baby survives, it's a miracle. And there were not many kind of medicines available either. And a disease called smallpox, đậu mùa, it spread everywhere. It was everywhere. And many children as well as adults, they contracted the disease, they got the disease, and many of them died. So there's a British doctor, his name is Edward Jenner. So basically he's the one that has been working on a cure for those diseases. And guess what? He found that people working in the farms, they never contracted smallpox. This is Dr. Edward Jenner. And so these are the steps that Dr. Jenner did. He realized that the people working in the farm with the cows, they never got smallpox. And he was wondering why. So you can still see the steps this is what he did. Please spend some time.
It's just like task number 1 of IELTS.
Sorry?
Describe the chart.
It's like describe a chart in IELTS. No. But look at the steps you can see. First, this is the name of a girl, Sarah Nemes. She is a milkmaid. You know, the person who squeezed the cow for milk, you know? Cái người vắt sữa. The person who squeezed the cows and take the milk out.
Okay.
She was infected with a kind of pox from the cow called cowpox. So, you know, for human, we have smallpox, which is deadly. But for the cows, they have something called cowpox. So she was infected with cowpox from the cows, but then she's still alive. No problem, because cowpox for human is not a deadly disease. Okay.
Yeah, maybe same kind of virus, huh?
It's a family, same family.
Yeah, same
So,
family.
The next one, what does she do? What did she do? This boy, his name is James Phillips. He injected the boy with a pus from the cowpox pus from this girl. So from the pus that come out from the cowpox pus from the girl, he inject that into the boy, into Nemes, into James. And then, of course, after a while, this boy falls ill. He became sick. But then he didn't die, because cowpox is actually mild. It's not that deadly. And then when he recovered, of course, he scratched a lot, and these kind of cowpox places on his body, they become scabs. And then the doctor collected these scabs from a smallpox patient, and then Phillips is inoculated, or he was injected the second time with the scalps of smallpox. So 2 times, right? First time injected with a cowpox pus from this girl. Second time, he was injected with the scabs of smallpox. And then the boy never ever contracted the disease again. So the protection is complete for him, for his whole life. And then what happened after Jenner's invention here? He found out about this one, that people who got 2 times injection like that, in that way, never got a disease again. And then he inoculated some more people with his new invention. And he even named his new invention vaccine. So the word vacca from Latin is mean cows, cows. And he, of course, it comes from the cow, so he named it vaccine. And it became widely known and accepted afterwards. And many people, they got injected and they survived, and they did not contract it. They did not contract the disease of smallpox anymore. And people say that the work of Dr. Jenner has saved the lives of many people. So, Miss Lin, Miss New, and Mr. Quirk, what do you think about Dr. Jenner's invention? Miss Lin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a really great invention, because I guess the smallpox is some kind of first virus with the human. In many decades after that, we see the new type of virus appear in a community, and this matter like the pilots for the way to find out the
So
vaccination.
it paved the way to find out the treatment, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So it paved the way for the treatments. So it means it's a foundation for the treatment, right? Is that what you mean?
Some kind of that, I think that the virus is different. So the vaccination when fixed for the specific virus. So this invention like the virus metal.
I think it's similar, right? It's similar, quite similar.
Yeah. Able to find a way to make vaccination.
I think this is also what we are doing right now to find a cure or the vaccine for COVID-19. It's very similar, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a new participant. Is Mr. Tuan. Hello, can you turn on your microphone, please? Mr. Tuan, please. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Tuan. Can you introduce yourself a bit?
Okay. I'm Trần Thanh Toàn, and I'm 40 years old.
Wait, did you say 14 or 40?
40.
Oh, 40. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so do you know me and Mr. Ted?
Just you.
Oh, just me? How do you know
Yes.
me?
On Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook. Welcome, Mr. Tuan. So today we talk about vaccines and also the controversial topic. Next, we will talk about that later, but we will talk about whether to take the Chinese vaccine or not. So, Ms. Nguyen, what do you think about Dr. Jenner's invention?
I don't know. I don't know about it.
Sorry, I'm asking Miss New because that part I was talking about, like the invention and how
Okay.
Dr. Jenner's make vaccines. So you just came here recently, so you don't know. I'll ask you later. Don't worry. Miss Nguyen, what do you think about Dr. Jenner's invention?
I think he's like good doctor.
Sorry?
I think he's like I don't know how can I explain this.
Just try to explain it. So let's just ask this question. Without his invention, what would happen? What do you think, Miss New? We have another participant here. So what do you think? Without his invention, what would happen to mankind? Hello, Mr. Moon.
Sorry.
Anyway, I'll ask, maybe we should talk about something else. Okay, so basically after Dr. Jenner's invention, what happened next is that he managed to save the life of many people around the world. You know, the death toll or the rate of death of what's it called, smallpox, was 80%. 80% for children. For adults, it's about 50 to 60%, which is a lot. These days, the death toll for, I think the death rate for COVID is like 10%, right? 10%, something like that.
Yeah.
Less than 10%. And people have already freaked out a lot. People are so worried now. Remember, but just basically, just think about the past. 50 to 60%. That's crazy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, after Jenner's invention, other scientists and doctors, they try to follow his footsteps. And there's a French chemist and microbiologist named Louis Pasteur. Do you know Louis Pasteur?
No.
I saw that in Ho Chi Minh City there's some kind of Pasteur academic, right?
Of course. A road was named after Pasteur. People, can you please turn on your microphone, please? Mấy bạn bật mic lên, come on, please. Okay, so Mr. Min, welcome. Do you know me and Mr. Ted?
Yes, I know Mr. Ted. Hello.
Are you his student?
Actually, I'm one member from his family.
Wait, you are his relative?
Yes.
I never know.
He's my cousin, John.
Oh, he's your cousin. I never know that. Interesting.
Yeah. Because I see, I did see the event on the Facebook, so I think the topic is kind of interesting. Yeah,
It's
and
interesting.
it's
Yeah, it is interesting.
especially hot. It's especially hot at the peak at this situation in Ho Chi Minh City. So I think
Right.
let's join let's join and have some discussion.
Right. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so everyone, do you know Louis Pasteur? He actually lives in Vietnam for quite some time in Dalat, you know.
Yeah,
Really?
Kim Dalat is his student, Yaxin.
Yaxing, right? What's his full name? What's his full name? Something Yaxing?
I don't know actually, but Yaxin has stopped the Black Death by vaccination.
Right. So Mr. Ted, Louis Pasteur had been living in Vietnam, or his student? Was it his student?
Yeah, only his student.
Oh.
Maybe he came to Vietnam. I don't know exactly, but his student Alexander Yaxin stayed in Vietnam.
Alexander Yaxing.
Yes.
There you go. I think I heard that Louis Pasteur spent some years in Vietnam, I think, but he didn't want to stay here for a time. Louis Pasteur was kind of a very adventurous person, I think. He didn't want to stay in one place for too long. Okay, and then the famous French chemist and microbiologist, Louis Pasteur, he continued to work. And then he came up with a vaccine against a disease called rabies. Anyone knows what rabies is?
Rabies?
Yes.
Rabies.
Rabies. It's
rabies.
Rabies.
So you got bitten by the dogs or grasped by a cat? Yes. Rabies.
Cat, dog, chipmunk, foxes, any wild animal, when they bite you, you might get that disease.
Okay.
But most of the time, it's the dog.
Yes.
Wild dogs. And this picture, you can see that a lot of people were trying to fight the wild dog, but this person, is being bitten by the dog.
Yeah, for sure.
So rabies has been one of the most deadly diseases in human history. You can see what would happen to rabies patient. Well, of course,
there is
rabies.
No cure.
Sorry?
There is no treatment for rabies, right?
There's no treatment.
Yes, only prevention.
Until now, there's no treatment for rabies. And the patient will die a very, very painful death.
But I see that when people were visited by a dog, they are afraid and they come to hospital, they will have some kind
They will get
drug.
vaccinated. Yeah, they will get the vaccine. They have to get a vaccine within, like, I think 72 hours after they got bitten. Because after that time frame, the vaccine becomes, I think, ineffective. And those patients will surely die.
Yeah.
It's 100% death rate. So you can see that these patients will basically behave like wild animals after a while. They will start to, have their saliva. They will drool on the floor. Their saliva will be everywhere. They will behave just like the wild animals. They will not behave like humans anymore. They become extremely aggressive. They will try to attack you. And eventually, their brain will be damaged and they die a very painful death. So, back to the topic. Louis Pasteur, he managed to find a vaccine against rabies, possibly in the same way that Dr. Jenner did. Have you heard about a disease called tetanus? Sorry, I would just write on the chat. Can you see it on the chat, people?
Yes.
Tetanus. Tetanus is a disease that is linked with the nails, you know, rusty nails.
Rusty metal.
Rusty nails. Oh, sorry. That don't do anything like that. I'll just send to everyone. Rusty nails. So basically, it's linked to rusty nails. If you fall down on the road, or if you got you bleed, and then the rusty nails were how can I say, if your blood are in contact with rusty nails, exactly, uốn ván, yep, you have to get vaccinated immediately. Remember that, because rusty nail, basically tetanus, is caused by, I think it was a pathogen. It was a disease causing proteins or a virus. I don't remember exactly, but the patient will surely die. It's 100% death rate as well, just the same like rabies. Anyway, let's come to COVID. Thank you, Ted, for reminding me of the time. So how about now? We have the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's been like many months. Remember January 2020? We didn't know anything, and then boom! The pandemic broke out in Wuhan, China, and it spread around the world. And until now, it's been 1 year and 8 months since the first outbreak.
Everything got lost.
It's many months already. I can't believe it. And then, of course, a lot of countries have been trying to make vaccine, and yes, they have been successful quite so far. But whether the vaccine is safe, or whether the vaccine is that efficient, all of those vaccines I'm talking about, it still remains unclear. What is the long-term effects of the vaccine? We don't know. However, a lot of clinical trials have been carried out just to make sure that the vaccine can help, but it doesn't do harm, you know. And right now we have up to 10 vaccines available for inoculation. We have AstraZeneca, we have Johnson & Johnson, we have Verocell from China, we have Sinovac from China, we have Moderna from America, right? Is it from America? Moderna?
Yeah, Moderna from the US.
We have Pfizer. Also, I think Pfizer is also from America or Germany.
Yeah.
Not so sure. And we Vietnamese government and Vietnamese people, we are developing 3 different types of vaccine. We have what's it called? Nanocovax. We have, what's the other name? I don't remember, but there's a lot of them. However, some vaccine, there are some cases of death from vaccines. We know that AstraZeneca vaccine shots, out of 1 million cases, 1 million doses of the vaccine being given, there are a few cases of death due to adverse or unwanted reaction. So many people are still doubtful whether to take or not to take the vaccine. So people, please turn on your microphone. Mấy bạn bật mic đi, please. Can I ask you something? What do you think about the different type of vaccine available? So, Mr. Min, what do you think?
Sorry, but can you repeat the first part of the question?
My question was like, okay, we know that we have more than about 10 vaccines available. So, what do you think about those vaccines?
I think most of most of them currently are reliable.
Okay, you can go. Yep.
Yeah. And I have a belief for those kind of vaccines for the COVID-19 right now. So I don't think I don't know why. So some people they don't want to have vaccination.
Get vaccinated, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you do have a belief. I do have a belief as well. You know.
Yeah.
I do because there's no other way.
In this serious situation right now, it seems that we have no option and no choices to refuse to have vaccinated, even if it's the viral cell from Sinopharm.
I see. We will get to that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Lin, what do you think about the 10 different type of vaccines available right now?
Actually, this afternoon I have checked about the vaccine information because for the first time I really don't care much about the type of vaccine because I guess the government will clear what they have, and I saw there more than 10 vaccine and but just about five kind of that what you widely, and China have two kind of vaccine like
Yes.
Sinopharm and
Sinopharm and Sinovac, yes.
And they have you very much special in the Africa, in Africa.
In Africa, they have used that in Africa, I think in Arabian world. What is that called? The UAE, United Arab Emirates. It has been used in other countries as well.
Some kind of poor country.
Yeah.
I guess so. Actually, I hear about the information in China Post, and I not sure that how many person in China they use Chinese vaccine.
I think 1.4 doesn't sound like a correct number because you cannot vaccinate 1.4 billion people that quickly, right?
Yeah. So, I mean that I don't know the reliable information for that. So I guess now in Vietnam it's really bad, and we really don't have much choice because Vietnam still don't have my own vaccine, so they have to buy them from rich country, and it's not easy. You can see that in America, people have the third dose, and in the poor countries, there is so much people don't have the first dose. So I guess we don't have much choice.
We don't have much choice. And basically, some developing countries, a lot of people, they have already taken the second dose, and maybe they are about to take the third dose already. But many developing countries, they are still struggling to get hold of the vaccine, and that has created a kind of how can I say, inequality in terms of vaccine, you know.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Kwok, what do you think about the vaccines? I mean, 10 type of vaccine right now. What do you think?
I think a difference of a vaccine, the way to use practice vaccine method. I think vaccine of China making methods innovative vaccine, and USA using mRNA, you know.
No, I don't.
And Vietnam of Russia you vector
Vector.
pyramid,
Yeah.
vector pyramid corrected vaccine.
Yes.
But if you are in latest vaccine, I many risk.
Mr. Kwok, can you please calm down? You don't need to speak so fast. Calm down, please.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you are incomprehensible. You need to slow down, please. Slow down, please. Okay, so you mean the different types of methods have been used to make those vaccines, and some methods are newer, but you know, older doesn't always mean worse, you know. Like, for example, we know that Sinovac and Sinopharm vaccines were made during using like one of the oldest methods. So they just basically kill off the virus and they injected that into the patient. So that is an activated vaccine. But how about messenger RNA, mRNA methods?
Yeah.
How about vector? These are new methods, and we don't know exactly whether they are that effective or not. So everything is still not sure, you know?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Mr. Wood?
I think vaccine provides a good because I think it's data and research on the paper research evaluates.
Okay, so Mr. Min, do you have any idea? Like, okay, so right now, new methods are available, but we do not know exactly whether they are effective or safe. What do you think?
I think at this point of this time, with the development of the science, all of the innovation from the medical, I think we should give the new method a chance to
give it a
prove
chance.
that, a chance to prove that they actually work. And all the new method here is now developed by the developed country like the America or the European country. So
yes,
I think we just take a shot. We just take a shot with.
We don't have any other choice.
Yes.
Let's just make it clear. We don't have any other choice. It's like
because I think we still have a choice because
we do.
Actually, from now, from my opinion, in Ho Chi Minh City now we have two kinds of vaccines. One from the new method like mRNA, and the other one is the inactivated vaccine, just like the way the viral cells does. And actually, the inactivated vaccine they did work in the past, that they have killed a lot of disease, just like the chicken pox.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of. So, but
wow, I just noticed by now that the Chinese vaccine actually they have used like 200 or 300-year-old method. Wow.
Yeah.
And they still using it.
And they still use the old method. But for now we keep we just see the statistic from all around the world that they prove that the new method it actually works. So I think for now most of them we choose the newest, the most developed methods to.
Yeah, but we also have a problem here. There are not enough vaccines for everyone.
Yes. That's a big problem.
That's a huge, massive problem.
A serious problem. So, yeah, as you mentioned earlier, it's kind of not it's not equal. It's not fair for everybody in the world. Yeah.
It's never been fair. It has been already like a war for vaccines.
Yes.
You know, governmental officials have been trying their best to grasp as many vaccines as they can for their country. But so far, it's not been so easy. Of course. Well, let's look at a few numbers and figures here. So I did this one. I just basically added a few figures yesterday. So until August 20, more than 4.4 million people around the world has died of COVID. That's a lot. You know, for a pandemic, I think that's a lot. Yeah. But look at 210 million people are already infected with COVID. And compare with this number, it's only like 2%, isn't it?
Yeah, 2%.
Only 2% died. You think, so many people think that, oh, come on, it's just 2%. It's not enough. It's not that deadly. So that's why a lot of people they think that the disease is just a common cold. So what do you think, Miss Lin?
I guess that I hear about the opinion. They say that COVID-19 is just like common cold in British the first time, and of course we should. I guess that in medicine and every sector we should address what we don't really know, and because in the first time we don't know what kind of COVID-19 virus, we don't, the scientists don't really understand the rules of that, and of course they don't have some kind of specific treatment for that, and the government should careful about that.
Should be careful about that, you mean?
Yeah, should be careful about that.
Right. So what I'm about to say is that a lot of people, they still think that COVID is just like a kind of common cold. And so it has led to something called the anti-vax or anti-vax movement. So, you know, since the time that Dr. Jenner invented the vaccine, of course, a lot of people, they do not like his invention, and they think that we should let things happen according to, you know, nature, according to Mother Nature. And they think that vaccine is something like, you know, man-made, artificial, which is something that we should not inject into the body. So the anti-vax movement has been around for 300 years or more. So, however, I did not mention the fact that many people have recovered, yeah? Like 90%. More than 90% of people have recovered. But then, I did not mention the fact that they still suffer from post-COVID symptoms. Like after they have gotten better, they still have problem with their lung damage. They still have problem with their bone problem. And also, they still feel very weak. They cannot work. Have you heard about it?
Yeah. I see that in some developed countries, they have some kind of recover periods for patients. But in some country like Vietnam, I guess it hard because the medicine cost is too high.
Right. But I mentioned that not many people died compared. It's just like 2%, 2-3%. However, these days, the virus has quickly mutated around the world. So we have first we have alpha strain, and we have beta strain, We have Gamma strain, and now we have Delta. And also I have heard about Lambda strand, which is much more deadlier than Delta. So, of course, as we humans come up with new methods, the bacteria and virus, they have to mutate. They have to come up with new strain. Nobody wants to die, you know. It's a game. It's an ongoing game between humans and these things. Okay, so I was talking about the anti-vax movement. So let's see what happened. So there has been a rise in the anti-vax movement among or amidst the pandemic. So it started in America,
Yeah.
in Europe. First, of course, there's a lot of people who are called anti-vaxxers, and they have carried out a lot of protests around the world. And because of that, they denied. They said that, oh no, I don't want to get vaccinated. No, that is unnatural. Không tự nhiên, that's unnatural. And because of that, anti-vaxxers have slowed down the pace or the speed of vaccination in many countries around the world. And of course, in Vietnam as well. Every day, more and more people are convinced to not take the vaccine. Like, think about it. They are feared that what could be the side effect? They are afraid because of political prejudice. Like, think about China vaccines. People are afraid that the Chinese might put harmful things into the vaccines that can only affect our health after like couple of years, you know. And there also fear of, because of the lack of sufficient scientific data, we don't know whether these vaccines are really that effective or that helpful for long term.
Yeah.
So it leads to many people around the world, not just in Vietnam, okay? Many people around the world, they're afraid of vaccines, which is made in China, such as, you know, for Sinopharm and Sinovac. They might contain, wait, this one is X-ray. It might contain questionable substances. Like I said, what is inside those vaccines? Which might be very harmful, which might be harmful for people's health in the long term. So, since Miss Lin has mentioned, well, is it Miss Lin? Did you mention about like many countries have taken the Chinese vaccine, and there are outbreaks again, right? Did you mention that?
I'm not sure about the information that they are break again. Outbreak again. So, but I guess in some country, developed country like America, they have the full vaccination. They still break with new vaccine rate.
Like for example, in I think in some Mediterranean countries and countries that has got the Chinese vaccine, the doctors and the nurses, they still got COVID after like 2 doses of Chinese vaccine. And the outbreak seems to be really, really bad.
Okay, so I have some kind of information for this problem. Like the Chinese vaccine have effect with virus, but it's less than the developing country vaccine. Like it's just affects about 55 to 65%. Is that besides the Pfizer or Astra, they have effect to 85 to 90%. And with the people who work in the front line, like nurse and doctors, they react with the patient. They live in the FO environment, right? So is it hard to Chinese vaccine can protect them?
I understand what you mean, yeah. Now, but what I mentioned is about Sinovac, but I didn't mention about Sinopharm. So, Sinopharm vaccine is surely more effective than Sinovac. That's a given. It has been proven through research.
Okay.
So we have Sinopharm in Vietnam, a lot of those, and people are still concerned whether we should take it or not. So it has come to a dilemma now, to take or not to take the Chinese vaccine. So if your region, there are only like Sinopharm vaccine in your region, should you take it or not to take it? It's a dilemma. Một tình huống tiến thoái lưỡng nan. It's a dilemma. Why I said it's a dilemma? Because it's a difficult choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Mr. Kwok, what do you think? Should we take or not to take the Chinese vaccine?
Hello.
Yes, I hear you. What do you say?
I think vaccine at least is protect people, because it's brought our sorry.
You mean outbreak?
Yeah, outbreak on the world, and as Ho Chi Minh City is every day is have 3,000 and 4,000
cases.
Patients, yeah, and it not enough vaccine.
If there are not enough vaccine, what would happen?
Yeah. I think when every day is have hundreds and 1,000 dies because I asked Ho Chi Minh City not enough medical and doctor and not enough doctor and medical treatment.
We don't have enough medical equipment to treat those cases.
Yeah. So and every day is have 200 or 300 patients die every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard about that as well. And so I think it's important to keep in mind that, the risk of this Chinese vaccine, like I said before, it's just something that people fear. It's unclear. It's still unclear.
I'm not fear. I think I checked vaccine areas, but because effects of vaccine China only 50 and 60%, but not damage, not dies.
Okay, so basically, the vaccine, it prevents people from dying and hospitalization. So that's still a good thing, do you think? Of course, it's still a good thing.
I think a good thing.
So many people have died. I mentioned the anti-vaxxer, you see. Many people have died of COVID or suffered dire health consequences because they did not take the vaccine. And a lot of them, they have shown a lot of regret. They have shown regret.
Yeah.
Now, so like I say, the risks of Chinese vaccine are not clear. It's ungrounded, it's unfounded, or it's groundless. But the risk of COVID is real. It's a real big one. So here comes the dilemma. Will you take it or not? Will you take the Chinese vaccine and wait for extra from other brands?
I just waiting. I just waiting, not watching.
You're not waiting. You just take the vaccine.
You not.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. I many day I just waiting Sinopharm.
Sinopharm? You mean?
Yeah.
But not the Sinovac one, because we don't have Sinovac in Vietnam, I think. Okay, so Mr. Min, what do you think? Will you take it or not?
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Okay, regarding your question, I would like to share something that
Yes, please.
at first, when the Ho Chi Minh City government authority, they informed that they will import the Sinopharm vaccine for the people. Me and some colleagues in the company, we all agree that we won't take the vaccine. We not take the vaccine from Sinopharm. But for now, I think all of us have to change our opinions, since we have witnessed a lot of people get infected and a lot of people die because of the COVID-19. So to be honest, I would like to share first that I get vaccinated with AstraZeneca with my family, but I would like to inform you that, so you don't judge me if because you.
Nobody judges you.
Yeah, okay. I just would like to inform at first. So anyway, yes, I will surely have Sinopharm, because we must be aware that when we get vaccinated, it doesn't mean that we are 100% not get infected with the COVID-19. That's the wrong opinion.
You mean the wrong belief? People
think
that they get vaccine,
and then they don't get infected. No, it's wrong. I think we at this point of time we have to know about that fact. So whichever vaccine you have, even Sinopharm or Pfizer or AstraZeneca, it all have one thing in common: they mitigate the symptom caused by the COVID-19.
Perfect. They mitigate the symptoms and they prevent people from dying, which is a good thing.
Yes. So that's my opinion, because for now it seems that we have no option, as we mentioned earlier.
I think it's not a dilemma anymore. It's like you have only one option.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious right now that all of us we have to be vaccinated at this point of time. Yeah.
All right. So I think the last question I have on this slide: will you follow the footsteps of anti-vaxxers and endangering others? The answer is obviously no, right?
No. Yeah, obviously no.
Anyway, but hopefully the government of Vietnam can procure, or they can gather, or you can buy, or maybe ask for, the vaccines from AstraZeneca, or maybe Pfizer and Moderna, to provide, to make it faster, to provide faster shipments, so that we can vaccinate everyone. But meanwhile, I think Sinopharm is still okay. Mr. Ted, what do you say?
I want to ask for information that according to the recent data that I just got, that the Ho Chi Minh City has just vaccinated for 79%, around 76%.
Already?
Yes. So it's like a big progress. But the bad news today is we have 12,500 cases, and the new province have take the TRAN, already took the TRAN. Yeah, it's in the bad news. Yes. The new province today have 4,000 cases, while Ho Chi Minh only had 3,000 cases. 3,500. It's a very bad news for us today. So everything is overloaded. So my opinion is that taking any kind of vaccine you when you have chances. You can have the third dose like Cambodian are doing right now. You can have maybe
vaccine name.
Yeah, they are having the third dose vaccine. Yeah, after they had 2 doses of Sinopharm. Yeah, right. Sinopharm or Sinovac. Yes, and they got another dose from AstraZeneca. It's a great strategy.
You know what? A good strategy is that just take whatever vaccine you have. I'll be willing to take 10 different kind of vaccines.
Okay, whatever to save your life right now. We don't have time. We don't have much time.
Yeah, I think it's already the end of the events, and I think we should end the event now. So, thank you everyone for coming, and once again, thank you, Mr. Ted, for giving me the idea and the encouragement to make this monthly event. Let's just end the event now, I think. I see. So thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you in the next events. Okay.
Thank you.
See you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
And stay safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and see you then. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.